All right, I'm going to go ahead and just share a couple of announcements with you guys as we're admitting some more folks into the webinar. So first and foremost, thank you for spending some time with us here today and this morning. We know you are all super busy, and so we really appreciate you carving out some time to talk with us about websites and donation form best practices. Two quick announcements for you from coloradogives.org. Please be aware that right now we have a special opportunity going on for any organization on Colorado Gives. You can apply to be a part of the Level Up Digital Fundraising Program. It's a program that allows you resources, training, as well as additional tools to grow capacity and digital fundraising at your nonprofit. We are really excited to invite everybody to participate in year 2. So I will drop that link in the chat right after I get done with that second announcement. So Level Up Digital Fundraising Program. Applications are open now. It's a very short form. I know sometimes application can sound scary. And we want you to apply by or before April 19th at 5 p.m. So that's the Level Up. Next, I want to just let everybody know that this is part 1 of a 2-part webinar series. So I encourage you guys, if you're enjoying what we're talking about today, join us for the next webinar because it's going to be about advanced features, digital fundraising strategies to really ramp up what you're already doing on Colorado Gives. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and just remind everybody here today why we're chatting about digital fundraising. So why raise funds online? We know that raising funds online saves time and money for your nonprofit. So it's more efficient. You also get better data, reporting, and tracking. All of those things are accessible in coloradogives.org. Online fundraising improves donor relationships and expands your reach, how many folks you can actually get to during your day. It also boosts your online presence and creates transparency and trust. If I don't see you on Facebook or you don't have an updated website, I might not trust you as much as a donor visiting your online space. Access. Online donations mean access, meeting donors where they spend their time. And then last but certainly not least, we know that online fundraising increases the rate of your overall donations. So to me, sign me up. Let's do it. Let's talk about how we can raise more funds. All right, next slide. Just a quick reminder of why and how you can use coloradogives.org all year long. So why are we here? We're talking about coloradogives.org because we all know Colorado Gives Day, and we are so excited for Colorado Gives Day 2024. But this is a year-round platform. It's a free platform, and it's a robust fundraising platform for any nonprofit to use. It has an industry-low fee model, so you won't find lower transaction fees online anywhere else. And like I mentioned, a robust year-round fundraising platform that we are seeing more and more nonprofits use year-round. We have almost 4,000 nonprofits actively fundraising on Colorado Gives. So just wanted to level set here, say hello, welcome. Please, again, share and say hello in the chat. And I'm going to hand this over to our host, Ellen, so we can jump into this great content. Ellen, go ahead and introduce yourself. We're so happy you're here today, and thank you in advance for all the great expertise you're going to share with us.
Of course. Thank you so much, Jordan. So my name is Ellen Goody, and I'm with Mighty Cause. Mighty Cause, we are a fully functioning organization fundraising suite that organizations can use year-round, and we have been around since 2006. We're actually one of the first platforms to start giving days, so we are always so glad that we get to partner with Colorado Gives. So today I will be taking you through best practices, seamless donor experience, as well as show you exactly how to create all of this through Mighty Cause. Really just show you how you can streamline your giving experience for your donors by helping them donate through coloradogives.org. So first, we're going to start with some best practices. So really what you want to do. So these are kind of just for your website. When somebody is visiting your website, what do you want them to do? You want them to donate, and you don't want them to have to look for that donate button. So first, you want to make sure your donate button is in your header, and that is a contrasting color from the rest of your buttons. So you never want anyone visiting to have to search for that donate button, and you want it to be front and center at all times. Along with that, you will want your donation button to be above the fold. So what is the fold? The fold is where if people are scrolling, that is below the fold. So you want to make sure nobody has to even scroll down to find that donate button. So once again, putting it in your header is a great location for that front and center on your website. You also want people to avoid having multiple clicks for people. So this can cause a little bit of donor fatigue. They may be questioning why they are being taken off a different site, or if they're having to, you click to donate and you have too much information, even just on that donate page, and they're scrolling and trying to find where exactly to donate. You just want to make it as easy as possible. Donate straight to that donation form. Another great thing is you just really want to avoid offsite donor disruptions. So it should be no surprise that redirecting your visitors away from your website to an offsite donation page or form really causes an interruption in that donor experience. So your donors are looking for that instant gratification that comes from any online experience. So if you are doing a compelling job of telling the story of your organization, then they will really be moved to take immediate reaction and donate. So offsite redirects also interrupt kind of just the overall donor experiences. So donors are looking for, once again, that instant gratification, and forcing multiple clicks can disrupt that experience. So it has been proven that they are more likely to abandon their donation if there are multiple pages or multiple clicks. So you don't want to waste their time, and you just want to make it as easy as possible for them.
I just want to state here, I see this all the time on Colorado Gives. So you're using our page. We love that you're using and directing people to your organization page or to your donate form on your organization page. But we have a tool to keep folks on your website. So that's what Ellen is talking about here. The idea that you're not making people double click donate twice, you're taking them directly and seamlessly to that donation form experience by keeping them on your website. Right. I'm so excited to chat about this.
So offsite redirects also lower that donor conversion rate. So every time someone abandons their donation during checkout, that is lowering your donor conversion rate. So they're most likely to abandon that if they are being redirected to a different site. So you just want to make sure you're, once again, making it as easy and seamless as possible and just putting that right on your website. It also creates inconsistent branding. We will go into much more detail just about branding overall, but did just want to note that keeping your branding consistent across all channels is very, very important to kind of keep that donor trust. It also will disrupt your donor tracking. So any sort of analytics that you have set up on your website, if you're redirecting them to a different website, then you lose that donor full life cycle. So you won't be able to see that abandonment. You just see them going off your site. So if you are tracking that, this is very important for you to get an embed donation form right on your website. Some great examples of this is we have our very own Colorado Gives WeCycle. They do a great job of everything I just spoke about. They have their donate button above the fold. It is orange. You see it. You know exactly where to donate. They even have a heart because, just a little bit extra love. So when you go in, you simply just click donate. It goes right to their embedded donation form. There's not too much fluff. People know exactly what they're getting, and they can see that donation form clear as day, scroll down and make their donation. So just a great example of a Colorado organization, and just someone that we will also share to make sure that you are doing the same. All right, back in. So this is where you have the ability to do this on Colorado Gives. The embeddable donation form saw a whopping 2,279 average amount per month across all nonprofits. We want you all to also have such great numbers. So this is an incredible example of why an embeddable donation form works on Colorado Gives. Yeah, so if you want to share your donation page, if you're proud of it, please share it so other people have great examples of other Colorado organizations that do some of these things that we just talked about.
Yeah, we definitely want you to share. This is a collaborative experience in addition to educational. So if you're proud of your donation page and what it looks like, go ahead and share. If you want to tell us what you're working on or what you'd like to improve, we'd also love to learn that. And this just allows everybody within this webinar to click and explore different donation forms and donation experiences. So this is your external donation form. Thanks for sharing, everybody.
Next, we're going to talk about suggested donation amounts. This is probably one of the most important features, I would say, on any donation form. So offering suggested donation amounts, giving amounts can really help those donors choose a giving amount that works for them. This improves the donor experience. Instead of them coming up with their own reasonable donation amount, they simply just have to select one from the small group that you have already provided. This also makes them a little bit more likely to donate because it makes the experience easier for them. So a great way to set your suggested donation amounts is to recommend amounts that are slightly higher than your previous year's average. So for example, if last year's average donation was about $20, it would be smart to suggest suggestions of something like $5, $25, and $50. Other people who want to donate $20 would be more likely to increase their donation to that $25 rather than reducing their donation all the way down to $5. Another trick is to make your preferred donation amount the second option. I'm sure you have heard this with restaurants and wine. The second option is usually the most chosen because people don't want to be too cheap, but want to really kind of still want to be generous in that sense. So that actually does follow along with nonprofits as well. The average donation actually went up. So from $115 to $121, and monthly gifts were up to $25. So also take that information when creating your custom donation amounts for your donors. Another great feature is impact statements. Descriptions can really just help strengthen the appeal to donate and give your donors an idea of what their dollars are able to help and cover for your nonprofit. So you can set up your custom donation amounts and add descriptions to help really tie those amounts to items of service for your organization. So from examples here, $25 a month is school supplies for one student. So you will go speak to everyone in your nonprofit. So what could $50 do for your school? What could $100 do for your school? Just really let your donors know the impact of what each dollar amount can do for you. So last year we learned that 97% of donors have cited that their impact of their donation is the reason that they donated. So descriptions can really strengthen your appeal to donate and give donors an idea of what their dollars are able to cover. So donors, of course, can also type in whatever the exact amount they want to give, but this really helps also, once again, with that decision fatigue. It helps the donor feel like their money actually made a true impact for you.
And I'll just jump in here to interject that in addition to the upfront feel-good impact of having these suggested donation amounts or impact statements, it also gives you guys as the nonprofits data to follow up. hey, this is what your $25 donation did. So reaffirming that $25 donation level, reaffirming that $50 donation level in the thank yous and the engagement and the storytelling after the initial donation. So think about not only the upfront impact, but then how you can leverage those donation levels in post communications.
Great point. So we also have the ability to add custom questions. So this is your opportunity to learn more about your donors. So you can really help them with their stewarding process. What are they interested in? What do they want you to follow up on about them? Just really a great option for you all. This allows you to bucket and tailor your message based on a better understanding of each of those donors that once you've received that information. Within the donation form, you can also opt in to collecting any additional information. So with the Mighty Cause form, it automatically collects email and address information for you. But if you are people that reach out by phone, you can collect phone numbers. You can ask them to be on your mailing list. You can ask them if they want to participate in any upcoming events, if they want to volunteer, just whatever information you would like to receive from your donors right up front. So a great example of one of these forms is this one here. So you also want to make sure you're evaluating your form. You're not asking too many questions. This is a great example of they make most of them optional. So the donor does not have to answer that. They can just get those key questions in to make their donation as easy as possible. So yeah, just phone numbers, ask them to subscribe to your mailing list, just whatever extra information you need to receive from your donors. Jordan, I'm gonna swing it over to you for tax credit.
Yeah. So while we're talking about setting up your form and all the benefits of leveraging Colorado Gives for your year-round campaigns, I really wanted to just point out that our platform is built for and by Coloradans. So we made sure that tax credits, our Colorado state tax credits, were able to be counted in the system. And so let me just move my screen here a little bit. When you are setting up your organization page on coloradogives.org, scroll down to the organization data section, and there's a place labeled tax credits. That's where you as an organization can set up childcare state tax credit, the state enterprise zone tax credit, or the homeless state tax credit. And so Colorado Gives can help you to count and communicate those tax credits to your donors. I'll drop the FAQ in so you guys can read a little bit more, but wanted to make sure that you knew that we are really paying attention to the needs statewide of organizations and customizing Colorado Gives to be a free platform that's robust, specific to Colorado organizations. So check that out. And if you have more questions, you can reach out to the support team. Thanks, Ellen.
So as I promised, we are coming back to branding. So here's a little bit more information about branding overall. So the embeddable donation form for Mighty Cause will use the branding that you have created through your profile, your organization profile. So any colors you've set up, that will be pulled to your embeddable donation form, so it stays consistent with your branding throughout. So according to Lucid Press, brand consistency actually increases revenue by 10 to 20%. So this is definitely a critical, important in just building relationships with your donors. So keeping your branding consistent across all channels is definitely just one of the most important things you can do. Any lapse in branding could cause donors to question the legitimacy of your organization, especially when they are putting money down. So as a nonprofit, you want to take the credit for providing an exceptional donation experiences. So showing that donor that you're keeping them on top of mind and that you're taking them into account for their time, their interest, and their giving preferences. So plus there is a chance that they may not, once again, complete their donation if it's not very clear that it's going directly to the organization of their choosing. So this is why you definitely want to keep your branding in front of mind. So just really, once again, branding is consistent. Once it's consistent, it increases that donor trust. If your donation form is embedded on your donation site, once again, it's your organization's URL. They're not going to a different site and questioning whether or not that donation is going to you. Also, putting the donation form, once again, is super easy. I'm going to show a quick demo of how to add it to your website as well. So you can learn how to do that very quickly. But once again, this lessens the bounce and or incomplete donations by removing that little bit of friction by making them go to a separate site. So here's a little bit more about some payment and donor management overall. So the faster your donors are able to make their donation payment, the more likely they are to complete that overall transaction. So ultimately, when you offer enough different payment options to cater to all of those donors, you're removing any extra sort of decision fatigue that could come from the donor having to choose a payment method that they don't normally use. This will make your donors much more likely to donate to your nonprofit, not only once, but once again in the future, knowing how easy it is overall. So on Mighty Cause, you can securely accept credit card, Google Pay, PayPal, and bank account on your embed form, as well as Apple Pay. And greater payment options definitely increase donation completion. So for example, if the donor has checked their email on their phone and they don't have their credit card with them, they're on the go. Luckily, oh, I don't have my credit card, I have Google Pay set up, I can make that donation right in that moment. Yes, 57% of website visitors are actually from mobile devices. More people are opening their emails on their mobile device. So having those added payment options definitely accounts for all of those users and donors.
And so this is the idea that with this embeddable donation form, you don't need a separate PayPal button. You don't need a separate, Apple Pay or Google Pay or any of those other forms to be floating around on your website. The donors can come and give and be contained and have multiple payment options right on your website without being directed away. So it's the idea of, streamlining and consolidating that experience so that the donor has a really clear idea of how to act when they get to that page that you're sending them to. This is great. 57% of website visitors. That is incredible. We saw in 2023, I think it was about 50-50 just with Colorado Gives Day. 50% of folks on mobile, 50% on desktop. So it's important to think about how you're streamlining that experience for both mobile and desktop. Thanks for letting me interject there.
Of course. I also want to talk about reoccurring gifts. So this is something you can set up on your embeddable form. If most of your donors are monthly donors, you can opt that embeddable form to just do monthly right off the bat. So yeah, repeat and giving those automated gifts really can just set your nonprofit up for success. You know that those monthly donations are coming in. So it's really just a great thing to start pushing. So you have the ability, so yeah, reoccurring donors tend to give 42% more per year than just those one-time donors. This is also up 440% more over a lifetime. That is why, once again, you also want to make sure you're managing those reoccurring donors. You want to make sure that you are talking to those reoccurring donors and continuously. This is also a report you can have on Mighty Cause that is just your reoccurring donors. So you can reach out to them, make sure your messaging is more specific for all of those reoccurring donors as well. Reoccurring giving really allows you to develop that long-term relationship with donors. And that's why that increase is 440% overall, is they have that payment monthly, you're talking to them monthly and thanking them monthly. So you are front of mind with those donors. Donation receipts, these are automatically sent to all of your donors. So this really reduces the burden of maintaining several donation buttons and accounts. Donation receipts are automatically delivered to the email that they have provided. After their donation is completed and their donation is deposited in your organization's bank account automatically, you can manage all of those online donations just in one spot as well. So donors also can create accounts where they can access these donation receipts. This is also important for those reoccurring donors where they can manage their reoccurring donations all by themselves. So they can also reach out to support at any time to get those receipts. And you also have the ability to resend receipts to donors whenever they ask for them as well. But the automatic receipts just reduces a burden for you, reduces a burden for that donor. It's sent automatically. They can find it in their email and never have to second guess their donation as well.
I will note here that we do hear from many, many donors that they love the automated receipts and that they can access them directly from their login portal, their user portal, I should say. But I do encourage all nonprofits to be thanking donors. So just because we are sending that automated receipt on behalf to make that more seamless for you, we hear from donors, oh, I didn't even hear from so-and-so nonprofit after I gave on Colorado Gives Day. Make sure you are doing that engagement post-campaign, post-Colorado Gives Day, in addition to the automated receipt we send.
So I am going to do a quick demo of where you can find your embeddable donation form and all of that right in your Colorado Gives platform. So a few things I do want to point out are, as I mentioned, the branding from your embeddable form will come straight from your profile. So you'll first of all want to make sure that your organization branding is your brand colors on your website. So where you do that is on your organization profile page, there's this little color palette, click that, put in your input color, or you can kind of scroll through here and find a color that works best for your branding, and that will be carried on to your website's embeddable donation form. So in your fundraising tools, you have your embed donation form. This is where you can set up if you want it to be a one-time donation or a monthly donation automatically when somebody visits your website. This is also where you can customize those donation amounts as well as your impact statements. So you can see how easily you can change these. If you have a big campaign or you're fundraising for something a little bit more specific, you can change that at any time for it to be updated on your website. You can also easily come in here and add any designations. If you have specific programs that you would like to add, you can add those designations to be on that embeddable donation form on your website. You can also edit any of those custom questions at any time. Whether you come in here and you're like, oh, that one's slightly confusing, you can simply just click this, edit that section and update it. Or you can also remove that section completely because it no longer applies to your organization. But these, once again, can be added at any time for you have an upcoming event if you want to ask people if they want more information about it, or if you have a new volunteer opportunity, just keep it updated for kind of what you have going on in your organization. This is also great because you can see exactly what your embeddable donation form looks like on your website. So when you're going to edit it, it looks exactly how it would on your website. There's no questioning of, but it does kind of help you. Oh, those are too many custom questions. No donor wants to scroll that much in order to make their donation. So it really is easy to edit before even being on your website. In order for it to get embedded onto your website, you simply just click this embed code. You click Get Embed Code. It copies automatically to your profile. Here's an example of, this is Google Sites, but this is very similar for WordPress and any other website builder you may be using. So you come in here, I'll just remove it here. You add your embed code. You don't actually have to know any coding. I work with this all the time and I know zero coding, but I just know how to copy and paste. And I feel like I am building websites every day. So it's as simple as that.
Okay, great. I can copy and paste. We can
Yes,
do this.
everyone can copy and paste, I promise. That is mostly the first thing, yeah, you usually learn on any sort of computer. So you just have to copy and paste it. You don't have to understand any of that language. And you hit next, you insert it into your website, and you'll be able to edit it, pull it down, make sure that it fits the entire page. And it will just be up on your website. Simple as possible. My computer worked a little bit better, but yeah, so you can add your different sections. We've seen people who had another sections on the side, whatever you want to build around your embedded form, but you simply just have to, yeah, copy and paste it onto your website. And then a few other things of just Jordan wanted me to go over is just kind of integrations. So we do have some integrations with Mighty Cause. These are one-way kind of integrations, I would describe them as if you integrated with Salesforce or MailChimp. So all of your Mighty Cause information is being sent to either that Salesforce, that MailChimp, HubSpot, or Zapier. We have really in-depth support articles that tell you more about these integrations as well and exactly what is being pushed to your website that we can have Jordan share. It makes a little bit more sense, but it is all set up. You simply just link those integrations, and then once they are linked, that donor information and a few other things, you'll know exactly how it is going to show up on that Salesforce as well as your MailChimp or HubSpot. So you have all of that information there. Okay. Yes, and so integrations, yeah, come with the advanced features. So when upgrading, this is something if you are very, yeah, with your CRM, you're with Salesforce, you're with HubSpot, it is in that advanced package that those integrations are in that upgrade as well. Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So
Yes.
I'll jump in here. So if this is interesting to you, or you're like, I don't know what's going on, but I want to learn more, or you have a plan, you have a 2-month plan to get this embedded on your site, whatever your scenario is, we'd love for you to drop your email in chat if you'd like us to follow up with you directly to schedule a time to chat. So if you're like, I want to learn more about this embeddable form, or how can I move my data seamlessly from Colorado Gives so I don't have to keep downloading the report manually, we can certainly set up a time to chat about that. So go ahead, and if you feel comfortable, add your email in the chat and we'll follow up with you directly. Just to confirm, we're not sharing this chat with anybody, so your data is safe, and we will just contact you directly. If you don't feel comfortable with that, I do want to mention that you can sign up directly for a one-on-one demo with, maybe it'll be Ellen, someone at Mighty Cause who's an expert at the embeddable form as well as the advanced features package. Last thing I'll mention here, again, just want to remind you that we'll talk more about the advanced features package in the next webinar, which I believe is May 15th. So make sure to register for that one as well. Thanks, everybody.
Have any questions come through the chat?
Yeah, we had a couple of interesting ones. I'll pull one from a little bit before. Someone was asking how many suggested donation amounts do folks, need to put on their form? I said, I feel like 4 is good enough. It's not overwhelming. It tells a story. It allows people some choice depending on who's getting on the page, but it's not 6 or 8 where it's like choice overwhelm. But I wanted to ask you, is that, is that appropriate, or have you
Yeah,
seen something else?
I agree with 4. Yeah, I know people who do many, many more because they have specific programmings and stuff like that. But yeah, I think especially for kind of your overall embeddable donation form, you want to keep it pretty evergreen and simple and easy. Those are people, yeah, going directly to your website to donate. So yeah, keeping it as simple as possible, having that top 4, I think is a great idea.
Awesome. Caitlin says, is it better to have our donation form default to recurring or one time? And I'll just remind everybody that you have the ability to change that setting on both the embeddable form and your organization page. And from our perspective, it really depends on your donors and your ask. And so there's some different ways that you can set up that form. I'll drop an FAQ into the chat so you can explore how to set up that monthly or one-time donation form, but they can toggle back and forth. So it's not like you're forcing them to only do a one-time or only do a monthly. But it's really what your priority is as an organization. Is that, what do you think, Ellen, as far as how you might set that up?
I agree. And yeah, if you're someone who kind of you're structured on monthly dues or something like that, monthly would definitely make sense. But yes, definitely dependent on your donors and how they donate. You know your donors best as well. But yes, once again, they have the options to go back and forth.
Let's see what else. Yes, the recording will be made available, and we'll put it on our webinars page as well with the presentation. What are transaction fees if we embed this on our website? Thanks, Rob. Great question. So the same great pricing that is associated with Colorado Gives, which is a huge benefit. So I'm just going to drop here for everybody the pricing. This is a really unique fee model. So we see about 93% of folks covering fees on behalf of donors. 93, that's almost 100%. That means there's almost no transaction fees that you as the nonprofit are incurring. Now, we can't get away from transaction fees. They always exist on online transactions. But with this fee model, we're really allowing and empowering the donor to give 100% back to you, back to the nonprofit, whether you're using the embeddable form on your website or whether you're directing folks to an event or fundraiser page on Colorado Gives. Good question. Okay, Laurel says, hi, Laurel. Laurel says, I'm confused about the pricing. Is the embeddable form included for the nonprofits at no cost? Thank you, Laurel, and I'm happy to clarify. So the platform is free for all nonprofits to use. You can choose to opt into the embeddable donation form for $19 a month. So kind of an a la carte. You just want the embeddable donation form. You just want a better experience for folks on your external website. So that's $19 a month. And that's a really great price for everything that you get with that, all of the built-in ways that folks can give and the customizations through that form. If you need even more, so maybe you want the embeddable form and integrations. Maybe you're still in Excel documents and you really, really need some kind of just basic CRM donor management platform. So that would be the advanced features package, which we'll talk about more on May 15th, or we can schedule a one-on-one with your nonprofit. That package is $69 a month. So again, I mean, really unheard of prices for you to get a lot of different features within those packages. Thanks for that question. Ellen, is there anything else that's coming up for you as far as things that you've seen, best practices, or things you want to mention around the form or websites?
Yeah, I think, websites are so easy and user-friendly to build now. If you have kind of those best practices in place, then everyone will enjoy looking at your website. There are so many different easy layouts and everything where it's just, you need to simply establish your brand colors, add everything we talked about here as far as just simple formatting, and you'll just have so much success on your websites. keep them as simple as possible too. Nobody really wants to scroll, look for things. You know exactly what you want out of your donors and out of people visiting your website. So just, I really recommend, yeah, keeping it simple and just consistent with branding overall. But it seems kind of overwhelming sometimes, but they're really great resources out there as far as websites.
Awesome. Yes. And this embeddable form is in an iframe, so it works on any website. Anywhere where you can drop some embeddable code is a page that you can drop this embeddable form. So it's a great value for folks. I
Yeah.
wanted to, since we have a little bit of time, is it okay if I share my screen so we can chat
Yeah.
about the pricing? Because I want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with that. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here. All right, can everybody see my screen all right? I think it's always great to have a refresher. I know when I'm meeting with any nonprofits one-on-one, we do chat about this just because it's so different from a lot of the other software fee models that you might experience. So we want to keep it free for any nonprofit to raise funds on Colorado Gives. And so the platform remains free. You only have to enroll once in order to have an organization page and raise funds year-round. We have free individual fundraiser pages, event pages, team pages. Are you running
Yeah,
the Colfax Marathon?
I cannot see your screen.
Oh,
So
okay. Let's see. Can you see me now?
yes, looks
Okay,
great.
great. Yeah, so I was saying, there's a lot of free, robust tools on the platform. And the other thing to consider is how much are you paying for other tools, other transaction fees? Do the simple calculations and you'll see that the value of Colorado Gives is saving you hundreds and thousands, in some cases, of dollars per year in online transaction fees. And so the fee model is 3.99%. That's what's presented to donors. Donors can choose to cover the fees or they can choose to opt out of covering those fees. If they choose to cover the fees, great, you get 100% of the intended donation. For that 7 to 10% of the time where a donor chooses not to cover the fees, the only thing that we retain is 2.05%. So the only fee that you as a nonprofit ever incur is 2.05%. And that's only when a donor, that 7 to 10% of the time, chooses not to cover the fees. And so it's an incredibly low fee rate for any organization. So I want to mention also that if you want to see your own effective fee rate, we can do that. So I'm going to head to a sample nonprofit page here. I'm logged in as an admin. I'm by default dropped into the overview section. But did you know that you can see your nonprofit's effective fee rate from this area? So you can see and toggle the last 12 months. What is my nonprofit's effective fee rate? So these are tools to allow you to calculate and see the value of leveraging Colorado Gives year round. Does that stir up any questions for anybody? I'll stop sharing my screen. Sorry about that, folks. All right. So we've talked about the embeddable donation form. We've talked about streamlining the experience for donors, making sure that they're going directly to a donation checkout flow and not landing on some other page where they have to click again. We've talked about branding, trust and transparency, so how your online presence provides trust and transparency. Are there any other questions coming up for folks around how to set up your donation form or the donation experience that we can answer while we're all here together today? Let's see. Hi, Laura. Are we able to use other online fundraising platforms if we sign up for the advanced features package or embeddable form? Yes. Yep. So you can use whatever setup tech suite that you want to use. You can opt into the advanced features or the embeddable form package and use that for a specific purpose. We see some organizations that use it year round. It's their main tool. And of course, we love that. We see some other organizations that just embed it for a couple months for their huge campaigns or big marathon or for Colorado Gives Day. So that's really the flexibility that these plans offer. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. Well, guys, this has been really great. I hope it's been helpful for you to see just how easy it is to set up your embeddable donation form. I want to give a huge shout out to Ellen. Thank you so much for leading us through this, showing us some examples, and making us think through, how are donations flowing through our system? How are donors experiencing the donation transaction process? So thank you all for your time today. We'll give you 10 minutes back. I do want to say we'll be sharing the demo link so you can sign up if you'd like to learn more after this webinar. We've also got anybody's email that you dropped in, so thank you. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.